and we were both recording. I was one of the co-president of HFES before, and we were both PhD students in Dr. Landry's lab. I'm not sure how many people here still know Dr. Landry, but anyway, that's why I'm here. And I will make this short and sweet. Try not to look at this as a presentation, just more like a chat about job searching. So just a brief background of myself. I did my undergrad in aviation maintenance in Shanghai, China, and then I worked at Air China Airlines as an aircraft mechanic for 1 year. And then I came to Purdue, did my master's. If you see all those little aircraft flying overhead on campus, I was in that department, the aviation department, and my major was aviation and aerospace management. And then at the end of my master's, I approached to Dr. Landry. I was interested in human factors. And then I went to his lab, did my PhD. And then during my PhD, I did 2 internships. One was in the summer of 2019, and the other one was in the summer of 2020. One at a company called Explico Engineering. They are a forensic consulting firm. I worked on a VR research project for them. And then in 2020, I interned at Apple on some human-machine interaction stuff. And in the summer of this year, well, in May of this year, I applied to this research associate position at VTTI. The full name is Virginia Tech Transportation Institute. And then in August of 2022, until now, I've been working in this position. So is there anyone currently in this chat room looking for a job right now? Just raise your hand so I can see, or you can just unmute and say. No one? Can you guys hear us? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I think Ryan raised his hand.
Okay. Oh yeah, Ryan. Okay, I see that now. So my yeah, just one word, difficult. That's just how my job search experience was in 2022. I applied to at least over 50 companies, probably near 70, I guess. Only 1/3 of them replied to me. And the ones that interviewed me are, Amazon, Apple, Meta, Argo AI. Well, this company closed down a few weeks ago. And Zoe is, I think, the small company in Pittsburgh. They do the CPR, medical device stuff. And Cook, this one is at Purdue. They also do medical device. And I also applied VTTI. And PhD degree does not help you get a job. If you are working on a PhD because you think it will help you with getting a well-paid job, rethink it. Yeah. So my advice on job search, you have to figure out you want to go to industry or academia at least 2 or 3 years before you graduate. Because, for example, if you go to industry where you have to have a lot of work experience, if you are going to go into academia where you have a lot of publications to make sure you can find a good job in the academia. All of those take a lot of years to actually build up. And when you're actually doing a job search, you want to reach out to as many as you can. Practice interview with friends, professors, online professionals. I know there are some websites, some online like interview professionals. They will give you advice, but you have to pay for some money. And the cover letter matters. Referral also matters, especially it's a small to a mid-sized organization. And if your PhD dissertation align with your job you're applying to, it really helps. It helps a lot. And the mindset, try to have patience and focus on yourself. Don't pay too much attention on other people's success because that only causes anxiety. Whenever I see my friends post something on LinkedIn and they got a job or something, I just get nervous and sometimes when I receive those emails from the companies that's starting with thank you for your interest. However, when you constantly receive that kind of email, it will kind of damage your confidence. So try not to lose confidence because those emails really doesn't define you. Okay, I will talk a little bit about VTTI. I guess most of the people here today are more interested in what kind of job I do at VTTI and what does VTTI actually work on. So VTTI is an organization that's kind of in between academia and industry. We majorly work with governments, but we also work with industry. And a lot of work we do are kind of similar to what we do in academia. So it's really kind of like in between. And some people consider this kind of research institute as a stepping stone before they go to academia or industry. And this is map of VTTI facility. This is, can you see my mouse? I'm gonna use a marker. So this is one building, and this is the second building. Right now, I am sitting over here. This is me. And all of these roads, you see this roads here, all the way extend to here into the mountain. And over here, these are all VTTI. We call that smart road. It's a testing track. I think it's a 3 or 2 miles testing track that VTTI has. And this is an overview of smart road. This is where the offices are. And this is the section where it all extend all the way into the mountains. We have highway, we have roadway connector, and there are actually traffic light intersections. And this section is trying to mimic kind of like rural road. And there are also some off-road sections they're building, I think. Smart road capabilities. This is the one I really like. So we can replicate whatever weather we want with all of these kind of like snow towers you will find in ski resorts. And the biggest thing that VTTI do is what we call naturalistic driving study. And VTTI has 90% of naturalistic driving data in the world. I have never verified this. I just found this on VTTI's website. But actually what I do here every day is all about naturalistic driving study. Here's our major sponsors, FMCSA, NETSA, FTA, FHWA, VDOT, and private sponsors. We majorly work on a lot of proprietary projects for the private sponsors. And the funding that VTTI received, VTTI received 21 million in the last quarter of 2022. And the VT spends on average 550 million each year, and VTTI spends about 10 to 12%. So this is a vehicle that the engineering department built. So they took out the whole steering wheel section and make this a whole full autonomous driving. So this is the full autonomous driving vehicle driving on the testing track. Okay, this is, okay, it's working. Bicycle study. Pedestrian study. and a highway driving study. So whenever in my presentation or this talk, whenever you guys have any questions, just let me know. Okay, I don't want to make this like a serious presentation, just a chat. This is a screenshot of our truck driving simulator. So we have like 6 really big projecting screens surrounding this simulator. And the driver can actually see what's behind through this mirror. And there's a projector behind this simulator. This is a project I'm currently working on. This is a eye tracking study with the truck simulator. And we can see that the participants viewing angles through this red line. And all of these each square or rectangular are the trigger area that we set up whenever the participant look at one of these little square or rectangular shape, one variable will be triggered and recorded. And I took this picture 2 days ago for the, this is a picture of the simulator, truck simulator, and we can see that there are some eye tracking cameras over here. And these 2 are the infrared light source. Okay, so work at VTTI as a research associate was pretty much exactly the same as my PhD research life. You can work at your own pace. You're not required to stay in office every day, like 10 to 3 in office 4 days a week is good enough. So you can work at your own pace. They pay pretty well, I think. And I work on different aspects of research, of project research, pre-proposal, proposal, literature review, experimental design, progress update to sponsors, all kinds of meetings and reports, data collection, analysis, participants, IRB, any equipment and tools training. And this also includes something like driving license in our smart road, because sometimes when we are doing driving study, there will be the participant who's driving the vehicle in the testing truck. But in that specific testing scenario, we also need other vehicles to interact in the environment. And I have to go through all those really pretty exciting training to make sure that I can perform all kinds of surprising maneuvers on the test track as someone in that environment. This is a screenshot of our department. So I am under the division called Freight, Transit, and Heavy Vehicle Safety. We call that DHEAVY. And under DHEAVY, I am in Human Factors and Advanced System Testing Group, and we call that HFES. We call that HFES. It's over here, yeah, HFES. And Andrew Krum is my direct manager, but he also do a lot of research and project management. I don't want to read all of this, and the word seems to be pretty small. You can find this on VTTI website very easily. And the trends right now is that federal government are paying attention to the rapid change of technology in ground transportation. VTTI has too many projects on hand, but not enough researchers and data specialists. And I can say this: the payment I got right now at VTTI, I don't want to say it's not fair, but it's more like I am working way more than how I was paid. Like right now, I'm working on 5 to 6 different projects and also a lot of small tasks every day. The industry is shifting their development focus from level 4 to level 2 vehicles. Investors need to get their money back. If you guys heard that Argo AI shut down, it's autonomous driving company backed by Ford and also Volkswagen. I forgot to list it here. So Ford and Volkswagen, they're like the biggest company in the vehicle or the automobile industry. And even a company that is backed by these two companies is closed down. So this is a trend indicating that the investors in the industry are shifting their attention from level 4 vehicle to level 2. And I can also see that trend now with all of the projects I'm doing right now. So a lot of research needs to be done and a lot of questions need to be answered. If you guys are interested to apply a job at VTTI, you can go to Hire ED Jobs. That's how I applied my job. And just do a quick search. This is the position I applied in May of this year, Human Factors Transportation Researcher. And for hiring, PhD is preferred. I talked to, before I made these slides, I talked to my director and also someone at the human resource department. They say that PhD is preferred, but it's not a must for researcher positions. And actually a lot of researchers in the department do not have a PhD. I think they are here for like more than 20 years. Ground transportation related research is highly preferred, but also other research experience also preferred, like eye tracking, driving simulator, cybersecurity. I am working on a major 20 million project on cybersecurity for FMCSA right now. So this is also a really big thing because all of those ADS, ADS stands for automated driving system. A lot of those ADS equipped semi-trucks on the road, they have a lot of cybersecurity issues and a lot of questions need to be answered in this field. And autonomous vehicles, pedestrians and cyclists. So just a quickly go through how the interview went through for me. The first round is an online interview with 4 senior researchers and 1 research scientist on Zoom. So my direct manager was one of those senior research associate, and the research scientist is our director. And the second round is a final on-site interview for me. I'm not sure if everyone is going to go through the same process, but just for me. And over a dozen of research associates in the department attended, and travel and hotels are covered. This is the general agenda. I got there around 9, did my presentation at 9:30 to 10:15 for 45 minutes. I basically went through all of my research and the stuff I want to mention. And then for the next 45 minutes, they just constantly throw in difficult questions at me. And we did that in one of the biggest conference room at VTTI. And then there's a lunch break. And in the afternoon, there are 2 one-on-ones. And I talked with the director and also other team leads at 1 to 1:30. And then there's a quick tour. So the presentation, 30 minutes presentation on research conducted by you. Research include your choice of topic. So basically cover any or all aspect of the research process. And then in the next 15 minutes, try to cover something that's related to truck or bus. But this is only because I was applying for the position in the heavy department. So that's the department of heavy vehicle and truck department. Maybe if you apply for other departments, it might be different. And this is agenda again. And the benefit for international students, I really want to mention because I am international. since VTTI is under VT system, they offer quick and simple H-1B visa. So there's no lottery involved, not like the industry, and VT pays 2,500 premium processing fee for all H-1B applicants. So it's like a guaranteed 15 days process for in USCIS, that's the Custom Immigration Service. So I joined on August 25th, and my H-1B is already in process, and I should get it by the end of this year. So I think this is a big benefit for international students. And VT is at Blacksburg. It's a college town, really similar to Purdue. It's because it's a college town. It's a little warmer. There are hills everywhere, and hiking trails and nature. But Blacksburg has a little higher medium home price. I think it's 100K higher than West Lafayette. And the major cities is about 2.5 hours to Charlotte, 2.5 hours to Richmond, 4 hours to DC, 7 hours to Atlanta. So if you guys are interested to apply, I think you can just apply directly on Hire ED Jobs, or you can forward your resume to me. This is my email. If you want to get me, if you want to ask any advice from me, I'm happy to give you any advice. Again, this is a screenshot of the website that I applied. This is the position I applied: human factors and transportation researcher. And that's all. Let's have any questions. Oh, I can see your chat now. Sorry, I didn't see this. Was that a simulation or an actual driving event? Maya, are you referring to the simulator study?
Yeah, no, it was during your presentation when you showed a video of the crash. I was just wondering if that was like a real life event and y'all were like analyzing it or something.
I think that is actually from real traffic accident, and they were trying to analyze something that's related to driver response time. But I'm not really sure, because that project was from like way like years ago, before I was here. So I don't have the full content of that project.
Okay.
For the eye tracking metrics, what analysis conclusion are you hoping to find? Oh, so right now, this project, we are still in the process of calibrating the eye tracking software into our existing driving simulator. So we don't really have a really big, we don't really have a specific research objective yet. So right now we're just trying to install this and try to make sure that we know how to collect data, we know how to work with this this software and also the hardware. So we don't really have we don't really know what we're trying to get right now, but we are sure a lot of research we will be able to do with that hardware. What is your opinion on why you think I'm shifting from level 1 to level 2? Okay, so for this question, the biggest thing is safety, because level 4 and level 5 driving research in the past recent years are kind of like all those investors are trying to do some fun project and try to see where we can go. But right now, investors are not getting their money back, and there's no actual safe product that the industry can actually offer to the public. So those investors are not getting their money back. So they want to get their money back and go back to somewhere that is safe and is more profitable. So that is the reason why they shift from level 4 to level 2 research. What about grant writing and publication opportunities at VTTI? I haven't started working on any grant writing. I have assisted on writing proposal, but my position in the future, VTTI's expectation for anyone that has a PhD degree, is that you're going to be one of the future PIs. So I'm pretty sure that I will start to work on grant writing and publication opportunities. They expect you to publish at least one paper. It doesn't have to be a journal paper. It can be a conference. It can be, I even heard that some people even just write some kind of report for the sponsors. That also can be considered as a publication, although you're not publicating that into the academia field, but that can also be considered as publication. So yeah, one publication each year, and if you have time, you are very welcome to write publications, but it's all going to be on, I think it's all going to be on your own time. And the way that VTTI works is that the top priority is that you have to get the research projects done. It's either from the government or it's either from the private sponsors. So writing publications, they don't really reinforce anything on that. What is the expected start date for this position? There's no expected start date. If you are going to graduate soon, or I would recommend if you're graduating soon by like maybe early next year or the mid of next year, like May or something, that would be ideal time for you. Maybe you can apply right now and let us know that when are you going to graduate. There's no specific start date for the position. What kind of internship opportunities does VTTI offer? I'm not really sure. I'm not entirely sure. We know that right now we are short on data reduction specialist. So data reduction is, so you know that VTTI do a lot of naturalistic driving study, and we have a ton of naturalistic data. For example, one of our partners in the industry is autonomous truck driving company, and they also develop the ADS, the automated driving system for the semi trucks. So they install a lot of sensors on their truck. So with those sensors, there's so much data every week. I think for each week, there are at least 1 or 2 terabytes of data, and they ship their encrypted, encoded hard drive to us through mail. And so, 1 terabyte, 2 terabytes of data. And we have to break down those naturalistic driving data into the data that we can actually work on. So, and we know that right now we have at least 10 openings for data reduction specialists. But for internship opportunities, I'm not entirely sure. But you can send me an email. My email is jin224@vt.edu, and I can forward the question to the HR in VTTI. Do we have any more questions? Hello, Dr. Pitts.
Hey, Xiaojian, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. Long time no see. How are you?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, doing pretty good. I think this was very interesting, and I'm glad you were able to kind of build the knowledge for students about what industry is interested in and kind of the shift, because we're aware of that shift from higher levels of automation to kind of the intermediate ones.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to hear that VTTI is also on board and thinking about answering the hundreds of questions that still need to be answered in the intermediate stages.
Yeah, there are so many questions that we need to solve, but we just seems everywhere there's a shortage in manpower, right? Okay, if you guys doesn't have any more questions, I think we can call it a day.
All right. Thank you so much, Xiaojian, for your time. Is it okay if I forward your contact info to the more students so that if they are interested and are not able to come today, and they can reach out to you for any more questions?
Yeah, sure. No
All right, great. Then I'll do that. And anyway, thank you guys for participating, and thank you, Xiaojian, for sharing your knowledge and experience. And I hope, yep, and I hope you guys have a good rest of the day.
But Julia just raised her hand. Do you have a question?
I think it's clapping.
Oh, it's clapping. Okay, I saw this.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Good seeing you, Xiaojian.
Yeah.